I mean, that guy was right out of Central Casting.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean, the JCPenney suit with the fedora. And oh, my God.
And just the face.
Pop, what's going on, man?
Doing good. How you doing, Dommy Cutlets?
Hanging in. It's a flu game for Dommy Cutlets. We're pulling it together.
Cutlets.
Pulling it together, man. Wow. What a week. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about here and a lot of good stuff coming up next week. But Pop, give me a little bit of a vibe check headed into this Rams game. Where are you at? How you feeling? We already did the scouting report, so we're just going to talk about the road trip and the keys to the win and all that stuff. But let me know how you're feeling right now. Where are you at?
Vibe check. I'm catching a plane in
Yes, sir.
a little over 24 hours.
Yes, sir.
So psyched about coming out there. Psyched about spending time with my boys. Psyched about going to see the Commanders game. Well, kind of seeing SoFi Stadium, but it's always good to watch NFL football live and in person. And Who knows? Maybe the boys will be the good luck charm. Finally get Commanders a W. But
might need it.
I don't know what the vibes are. I don't know that they've changed a whole lot. To answer your question, I mean,
yeah, same.
It's a rough season. You know, I don't know that I feel any better or more optimistic. I mean, listen to B. Mitch. He's got a real positive vibe in the sense that, look, change is coming.
Yeah.
And he feels really good about the new ownership and the direction they're taking us and the fact that they're being patient. There was actually kind of a funny moment because Doc was on with B. Mitch and B. Mitch said, I believe in being patient. And Doc said, since when?
Yeah.
But those two are always fun. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it, right? At the end of the day, if we lose, we get a better draft pick, and we got a lot of change coming, and hopefully it's the first opportunity for the new owners to put their stamp on things. But getting real excited about these last few games, it's a little difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see Montez Sweat's comments?
Yeah, that was tough. It's not unsurprising, but definitely tough. Yeah, it's the reality of the situation this year. We've talked about it a bunch. It's this weird kind of odd gap year. It's like, I feel like if this team was like a person, it would be like, 18, going to community college, just kind of trying to figure it out of high school, doesn't really know what it wants to do or what it wants to be yet. That's where it would be right now. Just kind of trying to figure it out, and the exciting stuff is ahead, and we're headed there. But right now we're just kind of in that weird limbo period.
I think it's unfortunate, but I think if you look at it, there was a vibe. You talk about vibe check. There was a vibe set from the very beginning by, unfortunately, our leader, Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
That was almost like of excuse making from the day one, young quarterback development, young team development. And I think that set a tone of this is an uphill battle. And, you heard rumblings pretty early on in the season of the coaches saying, hey, we're probably not going to be here next year. And, that just set a vibe of, Montez Sweat said it in this quote, just sort of trying to get through the season.
Yeah.
And see what's next. And that's unfortunate and a difficult situation. I think Ron's done a lot of good in terms of, we've talked about it before, living through some pretty tough times the last 3 years. But unfortunately, I think I would have loved to have seen him gone down swinging rather than sort of raising the white flag like it seems like he's done,
It's pretty uncharacteristic for him.
He's worn down.
We've known of him, but yeah, I think one man can only take so much, and he's kind of just at that point, honestly.
He's worn down. Yeah.
But yeah,
excited for the
imagine.
road trip. So
Yeah, road trip's going to be great.
enjoy it.
SoFi's
If you
going to be
see
sick.
if you happen to be going out there and you see a couple guys in Dom and Pop t-shirts along with their lovely ladies,
Yeah, come
stop,
say
say
what's up.
hello. Yeah.
Come say what's up. Get a picture. Hit us up on Twitter with it. It's gonna be a good time. I tell you what, I think we'd probably fall over if we had any kind of fan interaction in Los Angeles. That would be pretty wild.
Oh,
But on the off chance,
unlikely.
we got a couple LA insiders. Come say what's up. Um,
Well,
but yeah,
other people might be making the trip.
yeah, other people might be making
Yeah.
the trip. That's true. Let's get into it. 3 keys to a win. Pop number 1, you got here, neutralize Aaron Donald. He's the most disruptive player on that team, one of the most disruptive players in the history of the game. And with this offensive line, woof, good luck. We're going to have any chance to give Sam any chance. We're going to have to neutralize him, double team him, triple team him if you have to. Just find the way. And no double teaming meaning Antonio Gibson chips him on the way out. That's not going to work for Aaron Donald. True double teams.
Well, and they talked about, we talk about our two guys, Allen and Payne, and then you take a guy like Aaron Donald, right, who, is at another level, in terms of his performance, and they move him around that line and put him in different spots, and he's a problem.
Yeah,
he's a problem.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a understatement there. He's a beast. And he's got something to play for now because the Rams are kind of in control of their own destiny, making that last playoff push right now. And you got to wonder, like, a team like that's if they're getting hot at the right time, you got to wonder where they can shake out in the NFC. Should they make that final push and get there? But offensive production is another thing we got to look at for our second key. We want to make sure we're sustaining and finishing drives. That's going to be the big one. We got to keep Stafford, Cup, Nakua, and Kyron Williams. Got to try and keep them off the field, keep the ball out of their hands because they do have explosive playmakers. And that brings us to the third key, which is we say it every week, and we haven't done it once this year. But you got to hope to minimize the explosive plays by the Rams offense. You have to really hope that we can kind of slow them down a little bit. Kyron Williams is an animal, and he's been getting open, and he's been just creating havoc out of that backfield. And I really hate that matchup wise for us. So find a way to contain him and minimize those explosive plays. I think that's going to be key.
And I mean, the Rams defense overall, if you look at the rankings, they're middle of the pack in terms of yards. They're near the bottom in terms of points allowed, or closer to the bottom, I'd say in that 20th spot. So I mean, they're not lighting the world on fire defensively. So I think we talked about offensive production and put points up. I mean, our offense hasn't been doing that. But it's probably statistically at least, one of the weaker defenses that we've faced in some time. So maybe there's a shot at doing a little damage there. And, you think about it a little bit, at some point you would just feel like, we're just going to have a good game where the ball bounces right and some of those near misses turn into near makes. And maybe this is the week, and I think in terms of maybe one minor factor is, the Rams had to go on the road, come to the East Coast, play a tough
heartbreaker
Ravens team in an emotional overtime game, and they had to head back. We're going one way after a bye week. We were able to get some rest. So we should be the fresher of the two teams because they've had to go, make that round trip anyway. Anyway, looking for any possible advantage.
We're grasping at straws here. Pop's out here talking about American Airlines as a potential advantage for the Commanders. It's tough at this point in the year with this team. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at for the keys. Pop, you want to give the prediction? It's Rams minus 6.5. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, as much as I'd love to pick our boys, and much as I hope to be wrong here, um, I can't pick Washington at this point.
Yeah.
They got to show it to me. They got to give me some hope, and maybe if they play well and at least cover this 6.5 spread this week, I'll feel a little bit different going into the Jets game. But right now, I just can't pick Washington.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think at a certain point, last 2 weeks, 45 points given up. We're on a 4-game tilt. Rams are hot. Not much more to say, right? At that
6.5 points seems like a bargain.
You got to go Rams. Yeah, I think anything under like 9.5, I wouldn't even blink at. We go Rams.
I hope we can see them compete. I mean,
I just want to make it enjoyable, right?
Yeah. We touched on last pod. What do we want to see the next 4 games, and check that out if you haven't. That was a blast. The last podcast.
That was a fun pod. Yeah,
we were mixing it up on the bye week, so we got to mix in a lot of different things and a lot of good energy there. Dami's flu game today, so we're taking it down a couple of notches.
Doing what we can. Do what we can.
Lots of echinacea and vitamin C before Pop gets out there, son.
But I had the nastiest drink of like orange juice, grated up turmeric, grated up ginger, black pepper, and cayenne pepper. That'll put some hair on your chest, man. I'll tell you what, with all the pulp and stuff in there.
Keep doing it.
I've just been going back to the fridge and just taking a gulp every couple hours.
Yeah, keep doing it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I just hope we could see a good game, good NFL game. Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun players to watch on the Rams, but certainly hope that we'll see. I'm halfway curious to see how much burgundy we see in the stadium. I imagine close to the holidays with that longer trip, although 75 degrees in LA compared to what it's been like here on the East Coast. I can't wait to get in the shorts and the T-shirt.
I mean, SoFi is not a particularly like crazy home environment in the scope of the NFL. It's certainly not a 12th man. It's more of a LA is just not a football town, no matter how hard you try to spin it. I've been living here for 4 years. This team lives and dies by the Lakers and the Dodgers. That's who runs the show around here. So SoFi is not particularly a stadium where you're going to see a crazy home crowd. So you're right. Maybe the California-based Commanders fans show out. You got to hope a lot of fans booked non-refundable tickets earlier in the year, and they got to go no matter what, right? But hey, like we said, guys, if you're there, pull up on us. We'll be there. We'll be enjoying it. But Pop, man, what an absolute can I say Fanculo on here? What an absolute Fanculo that Bada Bets was. Oh my God.
Horrible.
That was awful. That was awful. If you're under the age of 12, don't look that one up. That was just a terrible week of Bada Bets. Pop was 1-5 on the week. I was 0-6. Woof. The only winning
upsets.
Pick. Only winning.
You think about it, like
the Cowboys.
Steelers, Lions, Chiefs. In your case, you picked the Eagles, Packers, Titans, all got knocked off. I mean, not just didn't cover the spread, lost the games. In some cases, like handily. So it was a tough week for picking games for anybody. I would argue. Who saw the Bears crushing the Lions, right?
Yeah.
Who saw the Titans beating the Dolphins?
Every week that the Bears win a football game and Justin Fields goes out there and balls, get a little tingle. I like that. That's good. I like to see that. That's the kind of stuff I like to see right there. I'm a big Justin Fields fan for the rest of this season.
Not to mention Tommy Cutlets doing it up. My God. That was a ton of fun watching Monday night game.
Show on turf. Tommy DeVito. Absolutely.
Now you got to understand we bleed burgundy and gold, but we also bleed red, white, and green.
We're Italians first. Tell him the story about
See,
what happened when I was a little kid and Italy played the United States in the World Cup. Tell him the story.
yeah, well,
Tell him who I
I don't
rooted
know.
for.
Dominic rooted for Italy. I actually rooted for
Damn
the
straight.
U.S.
Damn
But you
straight.
know, I respect that game.
My heritage.
But yeah, it was hard not for two Italians not to root for the Giants and Tommy DeVito last night. It was pulling. I
Yeah.
mean, season's over for them and us anyway. But what a story! That's wild. I mean, his agent. I mean, could you if you had taken an actor and dressed them and said you're going to be the Italian QB's Tommy Cutlet's agent. I mean, that guy was right out of Central Casting.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean, the J.C. Penney suit with the fedora and oh my god,
and just the face.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
my
he looked
god!
like he just got back from breaking a few kneecaps on the way to the stadium. It was phenomenal.
It's a little spindly
Him,
for that,
he's kissing his. Well, that's why he uses the pipe. He keeps the
right?
lead pipe on him. But he's him kissing Pop on the face, and then Pop kissing him back. Oh, it was great. It was beautiful. You can't.
Yeah,
I dubbed him another nickname for him because apparently he's nasty with his legs. I call him he's Lamarco.
yeah.
No, Tommy DeVito. That's his second
That
nickname,
one run he
Lamarco.
had was sweet. Like
He was 10 for 71 on the ground last I checked. I mean, he might have had more than that by the end of it.
yeah, and I mean, he led the winning drive there at the end. So I don't. We're far too excited for the Giants. Dominic already has a love affair with their coach, man crush. But that was exciting. That was fun.
Yeah,
We'll see where that goes. It's really interesting. You never know.
Here's what. Oh my god!
I mean, the kid looks. He looks for real.
I got some breaking news here, Pop. We'll get to it at the end of the podcast. Let's finish our Bada Bets, but I got some wild DC sports breaking news here.
Okay.
Let's make our picks.
Yeah, let's lock through that.
DeVito looks legit, and here's what I like about this. The Giants are committed to Daniel Jones. They got to go with him. They got way too much money tied up. Somebody will trade for Tommy DeVito, and it will be outside of the NFC East. And I tell you what, I'm going to be on Fanatics that day. Catch me in a Tommy DeVito Saints jersey. Catch me in a Tommy DeVito Saints. What about the Jets? What about the Jets? He gets to stay in New York.
We're off the rails. Let's make our picks. But the Giants there would be the publicity. Worst publicity situation
for Tommy DeVito. That's it. I just want to be.
We're getting ahead of ourselves now.
Yeah. Well, you think we'll be invited to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony as Italian NFL insiders?
All right. Let's move it on. If you're still with us,
let's do the Bada Bets. I mean, come on, this is prime content here. Thursday Night Football. Chargers at Raiders. Raiders 3-point favorites. What do you like there, Pop?
Oh my gosh. Can I take a pass?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Herbert's done for the year, by the way.
I go Raiders.
Yeah, I go Raiders as well. Man, another potential landing spot for Tommy DeVito there at the Chargers. Giants, Tommy DeVito starting at Saints. Maybe Tommy DeVito's audition. Another quarterback trouble team. Saints -6. What do you like there, Pop?
That's why I put this one in here. I'm gonna go Saints. Saints are playing some pretty good ball, and I think the magical run kind of fades a little bit there.
I don't know. I don't know if Saints are playing pretty good ball or if they got to play the Panthers last week. I don't know which is true because I watched that game and Carr looked like, oof. I tell you, the best thing that ever happened to this team was Carr not coming here.
Yeah.
The Giants have been playing ball, man.
They're playing better.
I'm going to take the Giants here to cover that. I'm going to take the Giants to cover.
I'll stick with my pick, but it's a good pick.
Cowboys at Bills. Bills 2.5-point favorites. Two teams kind of getting hot at the right time of the year here. What do you like there, Pop?
Saints have not been playing very good ball. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I don't either.
I think that was their first win in quite some time. No wonder my record sucks.
Miserable.
Cowboys at the Bills. I did think about this one before. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think it's it's on the road. It's a tough place to play. It's in the cold. And the Cowboys are due a letdown. I'm going to go Bills here.
There it is. I'm going to take. I like the Cowboys, man. I like the Cowboys. This is that time of the year where the Cowboys look unbeatable, and then in about 2 weeks, we revert back. But I'm going to take the Cowboys. They're looking like one of the best teams in football right now.
They do, but that's usually the time where big division win, all those things going on, and that's usually the time where they lay an egg. We'll see.
Yep. Yeah, my prediction of the Cowboys winning less than 9 games this year did not go so hot, but stay tuned for next year, maybe. Ravens minus 3.5 at Jags. What do you like there, Pop?
So Jags have lost 2 straight.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a hard one.
Lawrence is dinged up.
Lawrence is dinged up.
I think he'll go, but he's not himself. Dealing with a high ankle.
It's big for the Ravens. Keep that first spot. They're playing good ball. I'll go Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ravens as well here. I just don't have faith in the Jags with a hobbled Trevor Lawrence. They're going to live and die by that guy. Monday Night Football, Eagles 3.5-point favorites at Seahawks. What do you like there, Pop? Eagles kind of sliding. Seahawks been playing just one of those teams that's always going to play you tough. The Seahawks don't usually drop a dud, and the Eagles have been sliding, and that's a tough place to play. You think the Seahawks get the upset?
Eagles need this win, right? I mean, they're second place in the division, I guess, through tiebreakers.
I wonder if Hurts is hobbled too.
I don't know if
Hurts is right.
He's nicked. He's been nicked up. He's got that knee issue.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Eagles on this one. I think they're going to bounce back. And I just watched the Hawks play a few times this year. I mean, we put up a bunch of points on them.
Yeah.
They just haven't been the same team.
I tell you what, they kind of remind me of us a little bit
that ain't good.
They'll play with you. But at the end of the day, when you need that stop, you just can't rely on them to make that stop.
Right.
You just don't believe in that. They remind me of us on our best day. Not our average day, but on our best day. So, yeah, I'll take the Eagles there as well. But, Pop, breaking news here. Ted Leonsis is moving the Wizards, what you're wearing right there, and the Capitals to Northern Virginia. There's going to be a new sports complex that the Wizards and the Capitals are going to be playing at just while we're recording this podcast. You got any quick reactions to that?
Wow. I mean, I heard the rumors. I mean, Potomac Yard, that's really almost DC.
Yeah.
I mean, it is right outside of DC. It's not much different than, say, like it's even closer to DC than FedEx. Would be. It's kind of like if they put a stadium at MGM National Harbor. If I've got my logistics right there, so
it will take. I
was gonna say I hate it being a Maryland guy, and it's so cool having that arena in DC.
Yeah,
and I think that's gonna be devastating to that area. So
yeah. Yeah, that area was benefited from having that arena there a lot.
Totally transformed it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's a bit shocking.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, they'll be there till 2027. It looks like. Hopefully, there's some Wizards ball worth watching between now and then, and we can get out to a game or two at Capital One, which was Verizon Center, which was MCI. At one
Makes
point.
You wonder what's going to happen to that. I mean, it's also such a cool place to go see concerts, and then you were in DC.
Yeah,
you could walk around the city a little bit, and it
was a great spot. I mean, getting off the metro right to the stadium. Yeah, that sucks. It's disappointing. I really I don't know. After my experience at Allegiant in or Allegiant, I don't know how it's pronounced, in Vegas, I love that experience of going to the stadium in the city.
Yeah.
I really don't like the whole this what seems to be a new trend of like building a sports complex. I know it's probably more valuable for the owners in terms of they can get a bunch of real estate and build up the area, and then the land accrues value and all that. But there is something special about, especially, I don't know, something about basketball, something about going to see basketball in Washington D.C. was always such a cool thing for me growing up. And I'm heartbroken. I'm sad, and especially all the history. The Wizards have always been kind of middle of the road, but the Capitals, I mean, all the history the Capitals have in that arena, rocking the red and with Ovechkin, and being one of the toughest places to play in the NHL for a long
Well,
time.
when they
I
won
mean,
a
it's so
championship, right, and
sad.
the way the streets around the arena, and then they kind of made
Yeah,
their way through the city. I mean, it's like I said, Potomac Yard is literally almost in DC. So I'm
yeah,
glad that they're doing that versus going to like God forsaken Ashburn or something
ugh,
like that.
yeah,
But yeah, it's sad. Like I said, I think that now I would imagine they're going to probably create a pretty Alexandria is a pretty cool place too,
yeah,
and I would imagine they're going to probably create a pretty cool situation there. Probably in terms of things to do in and around the arena, they're going to almost have to do that. And maybe
yeah,
it's going in a spot. I don't know that area that well. Going in a spot that's that's going to be good, but adds a little bit of travel time for me personally. It's amazing.
yeah. It's wild,
I
right?
wore the Wiz shirt tonight. I was trying to.
I
I
had
didn't want
to
to.
do a
I didn't
double
want to
take
use
when I
up too
saw the
much of my
notification come
Commander's
in.
gears because I'm going to be packing it for the trip. So I said,
Yeah,
sometimes you'll see Santana Moss on the Commander shows with Wiz gear or Nats gear on. So I said, I'll just rock the Wiz shirt tonight. Pretty wild with that breaking news hitting, but yeah, it's
yeah.
wild.
Who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe we got a little wacky here because we're this pod's been pretty quick. Maybe this, in a weird way, I wonder if maybe this motivates DC to
I
get
think
the
it will.
Commanders back
I
there in a
know.
way.
I
I
think this
wonder
is good. I
if
think
that's
this
in
is good
play.
for the Commanders, and that was actually a bit of a sports talk radio topic of like, would you be okay with the Caps
Man,
and the Wizards going to Virginia if it meant the Commanders getting back to DC? So,
yeah,
um,
my answer would be
yeah,
yes, but
yeah, of course. I think most of
it's
us would be all right with that. I don't,
yeah, it's tough.
don't get to a lot of Wiz or Caps games these days, as much as I'd like.
Yeah. But yeah, crazy breaking news, guys. That's I mean the news will be a couple days old by the time you see this, but it is coming in as soon as we're recording this literally on the phone. So pretty wild there. Where else can you get a 10-minute stadium segment on a whim like that? I
Well,
mean,
I
come
don't know
on,
if it
guys.
was 10 minutes. It was more
It's
like three or
fantastic. It's
four.
about 8. We'll put in a good 8 there. It was pretty good. We'll see what I edit it, and maybe I'll go slow motion for a few sections to
Like
stretch
I
it out to
said,
10.
that's how
But
you podcast.
that is how you podcast. Guys, if you've been here, you've clearly been enjoying it. Shout out Tommy DeVito. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're with us. And let's wrap this thing up. Without
Tommy
further ado,
Cutlets.
I've been Dom, otherwise known as Dommy Cutlets.
This is Pop.
What's your Italian alter ego? I'm Dommy Cutlets. What are you?
I got no idea. We got to think
We
about. We
got to
got to
work
think.
on
We
that.
got to
We got
go
to
to the
work on
lab
it.
for that one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for another great week, guys.